Yo, what's going on, people? It's your boy Trubs, and we are locked in with the Wiretap. And today we've got a very, very special guest. We are talking No Loose Chat, Era versus Era 2. And I couldn't do this without bringing the guy, Shuffle T. What's going on, my bro?
Yeah, I'm good, man. How you doing? You right?
I'm all good, bro. All good, bro. How's things? First time on No Loose Chat?
Yeah, first time debut.
I don't think you. I feel wrong by saying debut and Shuffle T in the same sentence.
Well,
I actually wrote debut first on Shuffle T for the thumbnail, debut on Olushan, and I thought, nah, this can't be a debut. Even it is a debut, but it just don't feel right.
I think it's actually quite a nice position to be in. Like, I'm hoping that there's, a room full of. There'll be obviously some familiar faces, as there are like every battle rap event, but I'm hoping there'll be a bit of a new crowd that I can sort of introduce myself to. And it's an interesting point for me, because there'll probably be some people who don't know who I am at all, and so there's like an element of a bit of a challenge for that, where it's like, if I was doing another battle on, say, Prem, or say Don't Flop, or something like that, then like there's a lot of expectation where people sort of react because they know who you are. And so there's this kind of like, oh, he's that one who does the thing. Like in my instance, it might be like, oh, he does the sort of sarcastic, silly bars. So if I say anything remotely sarcastic, then people start laughing because they expect a certain thing. Whereas here, I'm hoping it's a bit of a tougher crowd, where people are like, well, okay, I don't really know you, or I do, but it's maybe not what I always watch. So come on, then, entertain me. And I'm kind of intrigued to have that feeling back again, because I haven't had it for a while.
Yeah, I think you're right. I think it's going to be a mixer of there are going to be people that know exactly who you are and they battle rap, they the normal battle rap fans, and then there are the people that are just not familiar. They don't really watch battle rap unless they're at an event, and they kind of just watch that. They come to the No Loose Chat events and they don't really know anything about Don't Flop or anything like that. There's a lot of people like that. So, but how do you feel that about, obviously, like you said, is a bit of a challenge, and is it fun? Is it fun writing for it? The process, preparing for it, is it a fun process? Is it
Yeah, man. I mean, it's been really fun, and like writing for Georgie is really enjoyable. There's a lot to say, and like even though he's not been around in the same kind of era, well, the whole point of it is that he isn't in the same era, but like the whole fact that he hasn't been around for as long as a lot of like the contemporaries have been, or my contemporaries have been, it's like it's it kind of gives a whole different sort of feel and vibe to it, and also it kind of feels like it's a battle that quite a few people are saying, oh, it doesn't make sense, like I don't see why these two people are battling each other. But actually for me, I kind of think it makes a lot of sense. Like me and Georgie, I kind of feel like, I don't know, he's quite well balanced with the humor. Like I think people, when you're a barra, people kind of forget about that like these people are funny as well, and like and the whole thing is a balancing act of, you can't be too serious, otherwise it's boring for anyone watching. You've got to be able to manage it with humor, and I think he does that quite well. And so that means that I've kind of got to go the other side as well, and I've got to try and match a bit with something that's maybe a bit more like bar heavy or whatever. But in terms of the approach, like it's relatively the same as it always is, which is just that I'm gonna write as best I can to put on the most entertaining show. I want to impress people in the room, and more than anything, I just want to enjoy the process and enjoy the whole thing with him. And I think that's what he's kind of thinking as well. I remember seeing there was a comment, someone saying like, why have you taken this battle? And he was like, to be honest, I just want to enjoy battle rap again. And I was like, well, that's the best thing I can see as his opponent, is that he wants to enjoy this battle, because that just means exactly,
which makes sense. I think It's funny you say that because I remember early Georgie Roots was actually funnier, had a lot more funny moments in his rounds than the most recent ones. But that also obviously tells us that it's something that he can do. You know,
Yeah, yeah,
he can
exactly.
add humor to, and he still he always has funny moments in his rounds, even in pretty much every battle. Which obviously I feel like being that he's kind of still trying to find the right balance between them and tailor to each opponent. And it's I think him having fun with it is actually probably going to be, let's just enjoy the process rather than having a battle and
100%.
preparing for a battle and it's a chore and all of that.
And
Yeah,
I think as well, like if you start enjoying yourself and you know, like obviously through battle rap, if you're doing it for a long time, for like years, then you go through waves of different ways of how you want to approach and what's the most important aspect of it to you, and like what you want from the crowd and the fans and stuff. And so like usually you go in and people want to be taken seriously, so they go as serious as possible. And then a couple of moments will happen in a few battles where people will react especially to that, and then you go, oh, that's the thing they like. Okay, maybe I'll put in a bit more of that in the next one, and then you put in twice as much and people react twice as much, and then you're like, okay, well, this is my thing then. I got to
yeah,
just knuckle down and do this. And then there usually comes a part if you battle for long enough where you're like, I'm sick of doing this. This is annoying. I'm not being taken seriously. I'm only known for this one thing. I'm going to start going really bar heavy. And then you go bar, 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 bar. And everyone's like, okay, yeah. You're like, you're either good or you're not bad or you're okay or whatever. And then you find a happy medium where you do a bit of the thing that you know they like, you do a bit of the bar stuff, and you pepper it in like strategically, and then you
yeah.
do whatever you want to try for the first time in that new battle then. And I
You're
guess
giving a
like
lot of game in there, bro. You're giving out a lot of game in there.
I just think it's kind of what happens. Like it's like it's probably like anything. It's probably like stand up or like any kind of thing where like, or like actors where they do like comedy. You know, like Steve Carell doing comedy for the first like
Yeah,
10-15 years, and then all of a sudden he's in Foxcatcher and he's in like the Big Sick or whatever that one was, and then he's like, you know, because people want to be taken seriously, and then
yeah,
usually they mellow out to a point where they're just doing a bit of both and trying something new here and there. And I think it's that's how you find your feet.
yeah,
And the battle rap thing is really annoying because you only find your feet by performing
yeah,
live in front of a crowd. Like you can't really in the same way just do like a little battle at home or with your mates, because the reaction's never going to be truly authentic. It's always going
yeah,
to be mad. So you have to learn by doing the full final thing.
yeah.
And so
Make
everyone
mistakes
sees that
publicly.
progression. Exactly.
Yeah,
Exactly
nah,
that.
dope, dope. What do you think of Georgie overall as a battler?
I think he's good. I think there's like development to be made. You know, I'm not gonna come on and be like, oh, he's fucking bullshit. Like, you know,
Yeah, yeah,
I did that a bit for like when there was for the title match for Don't Flop. And then one I lost, so I looked like a cunt. But two, it was like that was, you know, we were hyping up a title match, so it felt like, you know,
yeah,
you
yeah,
got to
yeah,
put
yeah,
loads of thing on it. But like for a battle like this, like yeah, like you know, when I'm just looking to have fun, there's nothing on the line for me really. Like he's a good battler. I think he's good, and I think he has developed through his time. It's not like he's one of those people who just stays stagnant and does the same thing. I think he does develop. Like you say, there was a lot more humor earlier, and then it sort of like came out
yeah.
like that, and then you know, there's always been comparisons to like C major throughout his thing, and I think like in a way, like that's kind of remained, but I feel like the strength that Georgie has is that he's kind of accepted it. I don't know if he has. I don't know if he has, but it seems to me like there's an acceptance there, and not a temptation to rebel against it and be like, no, fuck that. I'm not like it. Like if someone brings it up,
Yeah,
I'm sure
yeah,
he
yeah,
rolls his
yeah,
eyes. But like I think being compared to C major is quite a compliment. So like I'm hoping he
yeah,
kind of takes that and runs with it, because he's a great battler and a great rapper. So but yeah, I think he's
yeah,
good, man. I think he's like sometimes he comes out with a well-placed jokey comment in amongst some heavier stuff, and it catches me off guard. So yeah, I think he's a good battler.
Nah, dope, dope. Do you think, obviously, he's battled on All Loose Chat a few times.
Yeah.
He's had he's battled Moke, which was a very, very good battle. I think it's one of
Yeah.
the best battles on the channel, actually. Tony D was a very good battle as well.
Yeah.
Um,
Funky
do you,
D.
oh yeah, Funky D, yeah, that one rounder. Which he did well as well. Obviously,
He
it
did
was
do
just
well.
it was in America a couple of weeks before that, so
Yeah.
so that battle was kind of short prep thing. But he did, I think he did well.
Yeah.
Do you think him being that he's been on the channel a few times, he kind of knows the crowd a bit more? Do you think it's an advantage for him, or?
I'm sure it is. Like, yeah, definitely. And even if there's like something like 10% more people in the room who are familiar with him, or whatever, I think that's still a big advantage. But I do think it's also a flip side. Like, I think the idea of having everyone in a room have an expectation of you puts a lot of pressure on the performer, and
That's true.
also there's a real feeling in the room of like you have to one up every single time. You've got to be a bit better than your last performance,
Yeah.
or at least as good. And so I think for me, coming in as someone who, again, not like an unknown or whatever, there'll be people who know me, but like for me coming into this new environment, I think actually there's a lot less pressure on me to just go in and like kind of hopefully surprise people and take them off guard and be like, I know what you guys are into, kind of, from seeing NLC. I've seen what goes down well, and I don't think that's necessarily what I do, but I do think that I'm gonna take people off guard and kind of catch them off guard and make them laugh a lot. I'm hoping anyway.
Yeah, nah, definitely. I think as well, like I don't think we've had just like NLC's had just a ballad that solely does humor. So obviously, I'm not saying that's what you're gonna do, or that's what you
No.
do.
I know what
But
you mean, like a joker kind of thing, a clown kind of
yeah,
thing.
I don't think so. I'm actually intrigued to see how it goes down, and I feel like obviously you're gonna have a lot more. You're probably gonna have the most humorous moments in NLC so far. I think it's actually a lot of battlers are probably gonna be watching this battle to see. I'm not really sure if they like my style, but if Shuffle can get away with certain things in
Right,
there, then
yeah.
maybe I can have a go too. So I think a lot of people are going to be watching this battle and decide whether if they feel safe going into onto Nobu's chat. So I
I
feel
know
like
what you
kind of
mean.
opening doors in there. You'll open a few doors in there.
Well, I hope so, man. Like, and I do like my aim is to really entertain people, like, and like you say, it's not going to be solely humor, but there's going to be a lot of humorous sort of like elements in there, and so that's kind of how I want to surprise people. Is that like I want to have a couple of jokes that they kind of catch them off guard, and then I want to go drop a couple of bars where it kind of catches them off guard as well, and then just keep flitting back and forth and kind of do that approach, because I think that's an effective way of keeping an audience on their toes. And really for me, like one of my main things with battling on a general term is that like I don't really see it as me versus the other person. I see it as sort of both of us versus the audience in a way, or like, maybe not both of us, but like certainly me versus the audience. I sort of see it like I just want to win over the audience. That's how I battle. I want people watching it to think that's good. I don't want necessarily them to go, oh, he was better than him. I just want them to go, I really like that guy and I'm on your side. So like,
it's a collaborative piece in a way. Like obviously
is,
you
man,
want your opponent to do good, and then the crowd is heavily entertained, and then they're going to go and watch the battle over and over and over
exactly
again.
I mean there's no pride really in winning against someone who chokes all 3 rounds. It doesn't make it a good battle. It's like it's more about coming in and taking those people who are on the fence or on you because they haven't seen you before or whatever, and just bringing them over to your side. And that's the best thing, that the best thing you can hope for is that really at the end of the day, I think. And then it doesn't matter who wins or loses. It's just sort of like you won in the room. You won the room over. You know what I mean?
Yeah, I have a feeling that you probably going to get the best Georgie Roots we ever seen.
Well,
More
this
all
is an
rounded.
interesting thing as well, man, because like this is going to make me sound like a dickhead, but like there's been a lot of battles in the past where I feel like when I've battled them, there's been like a big step up, and I don't think that's because I'm so fucking amazing that people have to step up their game. I think it's because when you're doing funny stuff and your energy is kind of low, then like you either have to outdo that, as in like even less energy, so
Yeah,
that you seem like you care less, or you have to go 110% to make people forget that, oh, he looks really laid back, but fuck that,
yeah.
I've done such a good job that it doesn't matter if he looks laid back. That's what Bullets did, that's what
Hmm.
Yunnan did. And like there's been a bunch of battles like that where there's been a big step up from where that person has been in recent battles and where they are now. Not that Georgie's not doing well in recent battles, he's just been given tough opponents and stuff. But like so I'm kind of anticipating he has to go one or the other way. He either goes, all right, if we're taking this as a laid back jokey approach, then that's what I'm going to do as well. Or he goes, here is my strongest material that I have to
Hmm.
try and fucking blow this out of the water, and it doesn't matter how relaxed you
Yeah,
seem on stage.
and I think it's also the fact that you probably push people to be more well-rounded than usual, and probably think like consciously be like, no, I have to kind of have more mixed bags, because not only you can bar, you can be very funny. Your timing, your timing in between bars is great. So then that makes people think like, do you know what? I see all the strengths that Shuffle has, and I just need to step up my game. I
I know
think
what you
that,
mean. Like if
and
you're a barra going against a barra, then you know where you're standing, and you go,
yeah, I
"Well,
can
I just
just
need to
bar
have the best.
better
I just need to have
bars.
the better wordplay." Yeah, and that's exactly what has
Cool.
to the.
Because you've got so many other things, then okay, I've got to bring other things to the table, and probably
Yeah, I see what you mean.
probably why you bring the best out of your opponents, because you force them to be more, to jump into different bags and be more well-rounded, and also that's also the factor that you shuffle tea, and it's gonna bring a lot of attention to you, to your opponent too. You just
Right,
that
right.
which is also another factor that plays into a part. Like this could be like this can potentially be Georgie's highest viewed battle. So
Yeah,
there's no reason for him not to, you know, not to go in. As well as obviously the factor of yeah, that you mentioned. Either you go too laid back, or you go super crazy, one or the other. But yeah, I think that all those factors together makes that everyone that's coming to battle you definitely has to be on their A game. So
yeah. I think also like I maybe another reason is that I'm one of those people who has like there's like not many angles that people take. It's usually just like, all right, you're posh middle class guy, and that's going to be what we go for. Or like, you know, the humor is there to mask something beneath, or you know, those
mm,
kind of things. That but like they get done a lot, and so and they have been done a lot. And I've been battling like as of the battle, I would have been battling for 10 years, and so
wow,
like it's been done a lot of times. So I think maybe there's a thing with people where they're just like, okay, I've got to find a unique angle on this. I've got to find a way to approach this that isn't the same, and so then that leads to more creativity.
yeah,
Um,
yeah.
so it might be an element of that. But yeah, 10 years, man. How fucking crazy is that?
10 years. That's mad. What are you doing for? So this is so what that the battle this year is it makes 10 years.
On the 19th, so in 6 days, I would have been battling 10 years exactly. That would be when I did my first freestyle battle with Don't Flop back in like Shepherd's Bush.
That's mad. So this is your 10-year battle anniversary, kind of.
Yeah, man. Yeah, it's
Man,
crazy.
that's it. That's it. That's it. Does that change anything on the preparation, or not really? Is that a
Not
factor?
really.
Or
Like, it's a nice thing to be able to throw in as like a thing.
of
Do you know what
course.
I mean? Just like say it. But like, but no, not really. I mean, like, there's an element of like, okay, I wanna take what I think I'm known for and kind of like maybe ratchet that up a bit. to make it like, I don't know, a very like a more me battle. I feel like the last few battles I've sort of approached in slightly different ways, like from the in fact, like it's post pandemic, really, like Soul, Canal, Crafty, and I think that's it, isn't it? Was there anyone else?
And then there was a 2-on-2, obviously,
and the 2-on-2. So 2-on-2, we always take exactly the same route, really. But like the 1-on-1s, I feel like I sort of wanted to maybe I don't know, impress people a bit more with the with material, and sort of like, you know, try to be as funny as possible, but also just try to be as impressive with the rhymes. Because I realized when I was looking back through some of my older battles, some of the, like, sometimes the rhymes come out and they're like a bit of a showcase, but a lot of the time I'm not rhyming that crazy. I'm rhyming quite, I think, effectively, but like I'm sort of like doing what I need to do in the rhymes to make it as effective as possible. And then I was thinking, but wait a minute, I like, you know, I co-wrote this fucking multi-dictionary. I'm kind of known as like the multi guy. I do the multis on the thing. I was like, I've got to step this up. I've got to start like putting this into what
take
I
it
do
to another level.
Just sort of like just sort of really stand by it. And that's when I did like, so then I had against Soul, I had that like that notepad is a mystery, no Agatha Christie, so Adam and Briggsy. Like I was really happy with that. And then against Canal, I had that whole like the hangover character to Bram Stoker's Dracula, and the all
and
that.
you had the run like that against Craft D as well.
It was like I had a couple. There was that one that was like what was it? Sigmund Freud's Review. It was like disappointed you did. I had that one, and there was another one in the third round, I think, that was like that. So I've just been thinking recently, I just, you know, I like that approach of going, yes, I want to have like, you know, a bit of a concept round, a bit of this and a bit of like humor and a bit of sarcasm, but I also really need to bring out those fucking rhymes in a way that hopefully people don't instantly notice, but when they watch back, they're like, actually that rhymes crazy when you really break it down. You know, so that's what I'm hoping I can do in this battle as well.
Being in the game for so long, is there still people that you like, I really want to battle this person? Or do you feel like if it comes around to your desk, you're like, all right, yeah, that sounds fun, but you don't actually come out of your way and think,
I rarely, like, the thing is that most of the people that I like who I haven't battled, a lot of them are jokers, like Dunch, Pat Stay, Roan, and those guys from the States, and so like with them,
even Pat Stay would be,
well, it feels like it would be good, but at the same time, I don't think it would be. I think it'd be like when I battled Carter Deems, and I was just like a bit fucking awkward. It was like, how do I, you know, what you meant to say against someone else who's like does the funny stuff as their main thing? You have to out funny them, but that's kind of like a cringy thing to do. And so it's like, oh, I don't know.
I feel like Pat Stay kind of like he has a mixed bag. Like he's got bar moments as well, and so it depends on how they kind of go against each other, like depending on what he does on his first round and what you do on the first round, depending on what he chooses to do on the second round, and then also the angles and the approaches. It can actually still make up for a good battle, I think.
Possibly, man. I think it'd be very apparent how comfortable he would be on stage and how uncomfortable I would be. So that's what I'd be concerned about. But yeah, there are some people that if they came up, like, I mean, you know, most of the big battles I would want are people like, you know, like URL names, like, you know, Hollow, for example, maybe, or like fucking Charlie Clips or DNA, you know, people who are like proper fucking barrers who have been around for a long time, who have like the mastery of their performance just down pat. And yet I feel like there's a way I could sort of like undercut and do that kind of thing.
I think those can happen. Would you go over there in battle?
Well, I think I would. Yeah, I mean, like it would end up obviously. You know, They're not gonna have me on URL, but like there could be a battle in like I don't know, King of the Dot or something, or
Yeah,
AHAT or
King of the
whatever. You know,
Dot,
I battle and stuff
I
like
Battle.
that. Like
Yeah,
I could see it happening, and yeah, maybe it could go down all right. I mean, I'd be intrigued by it.
yeah.
But I
Lex is
do
a big
hate
supporter, and
traveling.
he's been flying people over. So
Yeah, yeah,
send this
true.
clip to Lex. We'll clip this part and send it to Lex. Nah, but yeah, that would be dope. That would be dope. And there's a few, yeah. Dunch would be dope. Dungeons would be dope. There's a few people out there you could battle.
Yeah, I think like as for the UK, I'm kind of like I wait for people to get suggested to me kind of thing more because like I don't know. I think most of the people I would battle are probably the newer crop because I just battled quite a lot of people, and so like there's just been a lot of names that sort of ticked off, and I don't want to do any rematches really.
Yeah.
And so yeah, I don't know. I to be honest, I don't watch nearly as many battles as I used to, and so like I don't know a lot of new people who are out and stuff. But I mean,
do you still want to do more 2-on-2s?
I
You and
do,
Marlo?
but I'm not sure how realistic it's going to be going forward. I still love them, but I just don't know for a number of reasons how realistic they're going to be or how achievable they're going to be.
Okay.
But yeah, I would love to. But the
Hopefully we can
one-on-ones are
still
enough
get.
for me for the moment.
Yeah. Hopefully we get a few more 2-on-2s from you guys, man. Because
It would be good, man.
every time you guys come out, yeah, the response is always crazy. And maybe I think the fact that you guys don't come out as often, obviously, maybe even adds to it. But whenever
I think
you
so,
do,
man.
the impact you guys have is always crazy. So
Thanks, man. I mean, yeah, that's kind of like what I'm sort of hoping to do with with just my solo stuff is just sort of like not battle as often as not that I was battling all the time, but like I like the idea of battling once or twice a year maximum to sort of like
builds the
make it.
anticipation and
Yeah, and like you know, I said something against Canel, which I sort of was trying to get across, which is like every event he has a battle, and every battle's for me as an event. And I wanted to like I want the idea of like if I battle, then I want it to be a big deal, and so I want to put like I always put so much prep into
time
it, and
into
like
it. Yeah.
just non-stop practicing and non-stop writing for it, and just like treat it like it's a job for a month or whatever. And try to make it as much of an event as possible, like, or as entertaining as possible. So, and I think the best way of doing that is to not battle every single event and not put yourself out there too much, because then people just start getting bored of you or annoyed that you're battling. They're like, oh, another fucking battle. Like,
and it's also how do you still think of bars and concepts if you battle every event? Your
exactly,
brain
and
probably gets exhausted as well.
and you can tell when people are doing that because there's loads of half-assed bars coming out every other line, or there's loads of like just sort of like generic, like, oh, we know all this, we've heard all this, we've heard that rhymed 1,000 times. Whereas like that's why I like to take a bit of a break between battles. Like my last one was like November or whatever, and I don't even feel like I've had a break, but like obviously I have. Like, but like so
I mean, we're halfway through this year, so
yeah, exactly, yeah. So it's been a while, and like I feel like I like to put that time there to percolate and let all the ideas sort of generate and stack them up, and then go, right, okay, I've been announced that I'm gonna take this battle, so now let's take all this stuff that I've been working with in my head and just like apply it and make it as strong as possible towards that person,
Yeah, sick. Are we getting more battles from you this year?
There's always a chance, but I don't think so. There's a chance that I might have another one before the end of the year, but if not, then I'm pretty sure I've got one at the beginning of next year.
Dope.
Which would be a good one.
Okay. So we're still getting more Shuffle T battles. You know,
Yeah,
that's
man.
cool. That's cool. Hopefully we get one more by the end of the
Until
year.
I'm 60, I'll be doing. Do you know what I mean?
Well, they're still out here looking, you know, mid-20s and that. So
That's very kind. That's very kind.
All right, cool, bro. Final words for Georgie Roots. I'm sure he's gonna
Fuck
be
you, you
watching
fucking
this.
cunt. That's it. It's just that. No, man, I'm looking forward to the battle. I'm really looking forward to the battle. I hope it's a lot of fun.
I might just stop the video right there. Fuck you, fucking cunt.
I'm really looking forward to the battle. I'm really looking forward to a new environment. I'm really looking forward to a new league and just getting to meet, you know, some of the people who are associated with, you know, who I haven't met before. And yeah, I'm very eager to see who else is on the card, because I haven't been told the other battles that haven't been announced. So I'm eager to see like who I'm going to be on there with, because that can easily change the sort of the idea of the day.
Well, they've announced obviously Black T and Briggsy.
Yeah.
Zay and Tech, and they announced
yesterday. I didn't see yesterday's one.
Yeah, they announced one yesterday. Crash and Bo's Gambino or something like that. Another guy from America as well.
Okay, cool.
Yeah, Zay's from America, and Bo's Gambino's from America as well. So
wicked. All right. Well, I've got some people to watch now. But yeah, man, I'm looking forward to a bit of a challenge. I'm looking forward to something new. I'm looking forward to having a fucking good battle and entertaining the people in the room, and yeah, just having fun, and then getting pissed afterwards, I imagine.
Nah, dope. But yeah, man, thank you for taking the time out for the little chat. I'm really looking forward to the clashes. Obviously, every time you come out, obviously, it's always dope to see you active. You and Georgie, I see a lot of people not knowing how this is going to turn out. I personally think we're going to get the best Georgie Roots. It's your first time in an environment that you've never been.
Yeah.
So yeah, man, I'm looking forward to see how this turns out. Obviously, you're approaching for Georgie. Obviously, we've seen Georgie have Georgie battles a lot. Last year, he's one of the people that had the most battles last year.
Yeah.
It was him and Sam Hypes had the most battles last year. So yeah, and even this year he's already got like 4 or 5 battles. So yeah, man, I'm definitely looking forward to see how this one's going to turn out. And yeah, man, I'll see you guys on the 23rd of July, bro.
See you then, man. Thank you very much for chatting with me, man. It's fun.
That's all good, man. Appreciate you.
You.
Peace.